suppose we all grow up with homelessness, see it in the street, but the first time I actually become homeless myself was June the 13th of last year. I lost access to my boy and I'll be honest, I had a mental breakdown. I couldn't handle it, the sheer fact that I weren't going to see my son. I had to leave, so I picked Cambridge because I used to live here and I've still got loads of friends here, so I generally thought, yeah, I'd be sorted here, so that's why I came here. I arrived in Cambridge to find out that because I'd never been to jail, or I didn't have any mental health problems, or I didn't fit a certain age group. I'm 35, so they only really look after the young kids, that the council wouldn't help me. I ended up spending 6 months in Cambridge on this spot every day. After 6 months, they asked me to prove that I'd been here 6 months. And I couldn't prove that I'd been here 6 months, so I went to the council and asked for help again. And then they changed the bar again, saying, like, you know, you need to have a full-time job to be able to get housed here because I'm not from the area. Problem is, most corporations nowadays will give you a job if you've got somewhere to live or got an address you can put down, but I didn't have an address. So selling the big issue, I didn't have a clue about it, so I went into the Winter Comfort office. I'd been in there for 13 days. I used it for a shower and that, and one of the staff said, Lee, you know, if you're an old market trader, why don't you buy some big issues? So they cost £1.25 and I get to sell them for £2.50. And they give you 5 for free. And I sold them 5 and people give us a few pound extra and I had £20. I was like, oh. So I continued doing it, and work is so important. You know, I've been a worker all my life, and not being able to, it breeds not laziness, but, you know, like I spent 265 days, and if I didn't have the big issue just to spend them hours, then I would have sat and I would have done nothing. And this is why society can't judge some of the homeless people that are here, because if you're already feeling hopeless and you've got all these days and no one's willing to give you a chance to work and change and prove that you can be different, I mean, if we fail, we should be given another chance, because if that's it, then what's the point in carrying on? What's the point in trying to strive? You know, I know how many homeless are in Cambridge that don't see their kids, you know, and that's why a lot of drinking and binging starts, you know. I'm lucky, you know, I had people to support me, but, you know, if you're not that lucky and, you know, you fall under the net, you aren't. That's why some do drink. Losing your family is everything. I mean, it would hurt a woman or a man, you know. I want to see my son. I think it should be it's a human right for my son to see me. It's not a human right for me to be able to see my son, and that's something that if we change in society, there's more responsibility then for men. Men can be more responsible. You got to remember, I probably could get sandwiches and stuff from, you know, soup kitchens. I mean, there's loads of wonderful places around here, but it's so demoralising. And, you know, socks, it's so important. Winter Comfort give me socks. I mean, you don't underestimate, you know, changing the socks. So Winter Comfort, the job, it's really, really important. The big issue gives you that option to earn money and keep yourself clean if you want to. Yeah, I think people think that you need to have a uniform for being homeless. You know, you have to be looking dirty and wearing like bad clothing, but I didn't want to be like that. I was hoping someone would walk past me and give me a job, you know, because of my lines and my attitude to work. They say that a lot of people are, you know, fakers, and people actually thought because I was clean and smart and my hair always looked pristine, you know, like, oh, he must be a fake, but they didn't know. I mean, my customers do now, but I get haircuts from Tony and Guy once a month. You know, they're such a lovely group of people. They wanted me to look clean, you know. Hardy Sweet Shop used to take my shirts home, wash them and iron them, you know, so when I come in, you know, the next day, I could just take that off, give it to the young lady and put a clean top on. I like standing out, and I know I probably got ostracised a bit for that as well, but I didn't mind that, you know. I always had my mum in the back of my head, you know. Cleanliness is next to godliness. I sold the big issue for so long. I got to go to the House of Lords last Tuesday and meet Lord John Bird, and I got given the job as the regional man for Cambridge. And my job with the big issue is going to be getting businesses more involved. I personally believe it takes a city to save someone, and yeah, I'm going to try and get as many businesses to help the homeless as I can.